You hear coaches like me talking about how important it is to apologize in relationships, but do you ever feel like if you apologize first, then your husband is going to think he's just off the hook for what he did that was hurtful? Like he's going to hear your apology and be like, yep, I knew it, it was her fault. And then you'll never get the apology that you want. This is such a common fear that I hear from my clients, and then they just often end up in an apology standoff. No one apologizes, no one feels good, the hurt continues, and the resentment builds. The truth is, you deserve your apology. I am Lindsay. This is Loving with Intention. Let's dive in so that you can start feeling seen and hearing apologies. Now, it completely makes sense that you don't want to apologize first. You've probably had the experience where you do get vulnerable and then apologize, and then your husband just flips back to normal like nothing ever happened while you're still feeling really hurt. You literally have evidence that when you apologize, he just accepts it and runs with it. And that really sucks. So why bother doing it? I like to think about it like this. Someone has to go first. They really, really do. And most of the time, if you've been in an argument, if you've been bickering, if you've been shut down, if you've both been moody, there's usually something that both people can apologize for. Those things don't often happen in isolation of each other. It's a dynamic between the two of you. So often it feels like apologizing means I'm saying, I'm wrong, you're right, my pain doesn't matter. What if we reframed this though? What if apologizing actually meant that you valued your relationship, that you are committed to growing together, that you are choosing to love with intention, ding, 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 and break patterns? Say your husband just snapped at you. He was like, you need to hurry up. You always make us late. This isn't okay. This is critical. You deserve love around this. And what if you snap back at him? I'm always late. You just get to sit there while I get the kids ready. Of course you're on time. You don't do anything. Or maybe you give him the silent treatment after he snapped. Or maybe you got super defensive at that comment. You started justifying your actions, telling him all of the reasons that you were late and why it makes sense. In this scenario, you're both doing hurtful things. You're both using unhealthy patterns. And two things can be true here. You can be sorry for your part, for snapping back at him or shutting down, and you can feel hurt that he snapped at you to begin with. Owning your stuff does not say, I'm okay with you snapping at me. And also, if you want to get super clear on areas that you can work on, you can pop the word roadmap in the comments for my free love journey roadmap. It will show you exactly where to start when it comes to truly changing these dynamics and so much more. So I digress. Back to it. Let's think about things this way. Is your husband more likely to apologize for snapping at you if he feels seen and loved and like you care about his feelings? Or is he more likely to apologize if you're acting like you did nothing wrong or hurtful? He is much more likely to apologize if you go first. Much more likely. And of course, more likely, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to get an apology back. And you definitely don't want to apologize just to try to force one. I've done that before. It doesn't work. They can read the vibe. But when you really love with intention, ding, 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 another ding, ding, ding. When you really love with intention, you keep your side of the street clean with consistency. You are stepping into personal responsibility for your stuff, not for everything, just for your stuff. And it can create such safety in your relationship. You are modeling that it's okay to take responsibility. And over time, this can change the pattern where maybe your husband never apologizes. And I often have clients ask me, how do I get him to apologize? I talk about the mic drop apology a lot. You own your stuff, you apologize, you mic drop. You just let it land. You don't follow it with saying that you want an apology. You don't follow it with your hurt feelings in that moment, or then it can come across like it's the only reason that you apologize to them, even if it isn't, even if your apology is genuine. So this means apologizing, sticking to it, being intentional about building connection, and then you can absolutely bring this up at a different time when your nervous systems have settled and when you feel maybe a bit more connected. So that can look like you saying, I'm really sorry for shutting down on you earlier. That wasn't okay. And when you snapped at me, I felt really hurt and attacked. I would love an apology, and I would just love to know that you know that that wasn't okay. And like I always say, if that sounds scripted, it is. So if it feels unnatural to say something like that, it makes sense if you're not used to saying it. We get to look at the past. You have evidence that not owning your stuff doesn't result in him giving you an apology. You might even have evidence that telling him you're such a jerk doesn't result in him apologizing. This is where we get to try something new to see new results. Even if it feels awkward or uncomfortable, we get to do the new thing. So the next time that you're in that spot and you're wondering if you should apologize first, just remember it is not about letting him off the hook at all. It is about keeping your side of the street clean, owning your stuff, being vulnerable, and creating safety and connection in your relationship. And from that place, your husband is way more likely to meet you in that repair. Your intentional action this week is to think about something that happened recently that you would have loved an apology for and get compassionately curious with yourself. Is there anything that you could have apologized for in that scenario? I'm not saying that you need to go bring this up. It is just an opportunity to step into personal responsibility and to widen your lens because, of course, we tend to see what our partner does that hurts us, and we don't often take that time to look back at us. And there is actually 5 different ways to apologize, and some of them will not land at all for your husband. So check out the video on the screen to find out what might work in your marriage. I'm sending so much love into your day. Remember that nothing changes if nothing changes. So pop the word roadmap in the comments and let's have a super intentional week.